Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Julia. I'm a Burmese and I'm based in Finland, and I usually make videos about my life here in Finland, but today's video is going to be a bit different because I'm gonna be sharing with you how I passed the PMP exam on my first try within a couple of weeks of studying. So since you click on this video, I assume that you already know what PMP is about, but for my other viewers that are not aware of PMP, I'm gonna quickly explain what PMP is about. PMP is a globally recognized project management professional certificate, and it is useful for the project managers, and it's also like one of the certificates that are good to have, like if you're still building up your, let's say, resume and trying to like have personal development goals. Then this PMP, it's a very useful exam, a very useful skills to have, especially like when you're targeting to advance your career in the project management. There are certain requirements that you need to meet in order to be eligible to take the PMP exam. So for example, you need to have the 4 years degree and 3 years of leading or managing projects, and then the 35 hours of project management education. So yeah, that's how you meet these basic eligibility criteria, and then you have to go through this application period where you list down all the experience and background information that you have relevant to the project management, and you wait until they get back to you with whether you can take the exam or not, and that we call it as application process. So once you've been verified that you're eligible to take the exam, you can take it maximum 3 times within 1 year. It costs about 450 to 5 euros to apply to take the exam, and every time you fail and every time you want to retake the exam, then there's this retake fees that you have to pay. So it is quite pricey, and also that is one of the reasons, one of the motivations for me why I don't want to retake it, because I don't want to spend like another 250 euro just to retake the exam. So usually these kind of certification exams are sponsored by the employer, or it could also be that the employee themselves want to take the exam, you know, for their personal development. So I took the exam on the second last week of July, so it was quite recent, and I took it during my summer holidays period. So it was really difficult for me to set aside time to study, because as you might know, in Finland summer times are very amazing. There's so much things to do, so much distractions. Even when you're in a summer cottage, you're always doing something there. So yeah, it was really difficult for me to set aside time to study for this exam. But in the end, I spent about 2 weeks to prepare for the exam, and with that 2 weeks of preparation, I managed to pass the exam on my first try, and I managed to get the above target result on all 3 different area of the exam. So I thought I'm gonna share with you what materials I used to study and how I studied to pass the exam. So the main study material that I used was the PMP Exam Prep seminar course by James Phillips. So I found that course on the Udemy, which is like a learning platform, and I find that course was very useful. So the course has like hours and hours of material. He explained in depth about each chapter, each topic, and also at the end of each topic there is like a quiz, like a practice quiz, which is about 20 questions long. And then also at the end of the whole course there is the practice exam, like one full practice exam, followed by the like a bliss review of each chapter. So that was my main study material at first. I spent about 3 days to go through all the topics, all the chapters. Like I was listening to him talking on like fast speed, like a 2x speed, and I listened to him for every chapter. Then at the end of the chapter I took the quiz, and I did that until I complete the whole course. My score wasn't that high, like I got like 60% out of this practice exam, and in PMP exam you need to score at least like 65% in order for you to pass. So I wasn't confident because my score was like around 60%, which is not meeting the requirement. So I decided to find more study material, and definitely like reading the PM board guide is not a suitable learning style for me. So I was actively searching for other study materials, and then I found a free course on PMP website. So that course is the course that you get when you sign up to take the exam. I will put a picture here. It is quite a short course because it defines different topics, and I have to say it was very interactive, and it's like my type of learning material style. Studying this material took me about 2 days because this is like a much more compact course compared to the James Phillips course. So aside from these two courses, I realized there is a PMP study hall. So this PMP study hall is like a studying portal by the PMP itself, and you have to pay about 30 to 40 US dollars, and you can have access to it for about 4 months. And I find that this study hall by PMP, it's the best study materials that you can ever imagine, because it includes all these like different lessons plan, and it also like have this option for the flashcard, and it has quizzes in every chapter, and then like it has 15 mini practice exams and 2 full-length exams. So imagine it's like a lot of material, a lot of practice questions, and for the remaining days that's all I was studying. Once I complete all the topics and all the mini exam questions, I started doing the full-length exam. When I was taking this full-length practice exam, the first one, I finished within like 2.5 hours, so that was really fast. But for my score, I think I got like 75%. So it was okay, like it means I will be passing the exam. What I like about it is that this study hall also give like the logical explanation about why you get this answer right and why you get this answer wrong. So reading through all those feedback, like auto-generated feedback, then you realize the area that you really need to focus on, and also the area that you are good at. So after I took my first full-length exam, that was like 2 days before my exam date. So I decided to go back to the James Phillips course and look at the agile practice section, because I find agile to be like very interesting topic. And I kind of have a feeling that there are supposed to be many questions, like many exam questions based on the topic. So I revisited the James Phillips course of the agile practice section. Then after that I took the second full-length practice test, and I make sure to study every questions that I got wrong. And aside from that, I was also reviewing the questions from the 15 mini practice exam as well. So I was like cramming everything like one night before the exam. I guess I was a bit nervous because I haven't been taking like a exam that strict for at least 5 good years, and I was very nervous. Yeah, I just wait for the exam day, which is the next day. On the exam day, I took the exam online instead of going to the test center because I figured that now that there are so many changes because of the corona restriction situation, I don't want to risk my exam date. So I decided that it's the safest if I sign up for the online test taking. So you are saving a lot of time from traveling, like going to the test center. Although you still need to prepare a proper test desk, like a table. The table has to be super clear from the books or other items because they ask you to show them your test surrounding, like you have to turn on your video camera the whole time. But anyway, as you might know, this PMP exam is 4 hours long and it has 180 questions. So and then at the end of every 60 questions, then you have like 10 minutes break option to take. So if you don't want to take the option, you can just proceed ahead. But for me, I really needed that 10 minutes break after every 60 questions. So about the exam questions themselves, I find that the exam questions are a bit different from all the practice exams that I have taken, but the good thing is that the logic behind each question is somewhat similar to what I have studied in the PMP study hall. So I took about 70 minutes for each 60 questions, so that's like one section of the exam, and this 70 minutes also include the time where I have to check through my answers and click the submit button, and then I get the 10 minutes break. So I started taking the exam on the day at around 10:30 in the morning, and by the time I finished with all the 180 questions, it was around 1 in the afternoon. So I click on the submit button, and immediately I wasn't like thinking about anything else, and then the next page immediately shows me that, hey, congratulations, you have earned your PMP certificate. And I was like so shocked and also excited at the same time that I accidentally pressed next button. So in the next page, there is the note saying that I will be receiving my exam scores to my email address that is tied to the PMP account. So like I was thinking that, okay, I saw the note saying that I passed the exam, but because I didn't have a proof, like I didn't have a time to take a screenshot of the page that says that I passed the exam. So I was very skeptical, like really like, oh, how did this happen to me? What if I didn't pass it and I'm like celebrating in advance? So I wasn't sure about it because it happened so quick. But like after a few minutes, I checked my email and I got the exam scores, and that's when I realized that I passed it, and I passed it with like really high score. They don't tell you how many percentage you got it right. They only tell you which category you fall under, and I fall under above target for all 3 different domains that they are testing. So I was very happy and also very surprised. But I thought that with the amount of effort that I put in, and also like considering the time that I spent, it was a good result. Anyway, I received the PMP certificate from the PMI like 2 days after I finished taking the exam, passing the exam. And I also received a LinkedIn badge, like a PMP badge that you can put on your LinkedIn profile. I think that was like 1 week after the exam. So if you are like me and wanting to update your LinkedIn profile, then even after you have passed the exam, you still have to like wait for 1 week to get your certificate fully let's say verifiable for everybody, because then only then you get the badge. And that's, I would suggest that that's when you should update on your LinkedIn profile if you are thinking about it. Looking back, I think the materials that I used to study, the PMP Prep course by James Phillips, and then the short course from the PMP website, and the PMP study hall, I think those three were enough and perfect amount of materials for me. And when I really think about the time, like 2 weeks time for the preparation, even though I know it's like kind of a short amount of time, but for me, with my level of procrastination, I think that 2 weeks was just perfect. Like all the content that you have learned is still pretty fresh in your brain, so I think that's like a right amount of time to spend. And of course you need to really like absorb yourself in studying these materials. So even though I still need to maintain my PMP status after 3 years, I think it is a really great certification because it really does validate me as a project manager. It's also a good start for Scrum and Agile practices. I hope somehow sharing my practices with you help you or make you feel at ease if you're about to take the exam. And I just want to say that after all, this PMP certification exam is just an exam and you don't have to feel stressed about it. Trust in yourself and you know you can do it. That's it guys. I'm gonna wrap my video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoy watching this video, if you find this video helpful, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and leave comments down below because it really helps me out a lot. I would really love to know why you're planning to take the PMP exam, so let me know in the comment section below. Thank you, good luck, and see you in my next video. Bye!